A single sycophant had greeted the former squatter Donald Trump when he returned to Manhattan for the first time since leaving office, per the New York Post. On Monday morning, only about 20 supporters had showed up for a Klan rally at the base of Trump Tower, but New Yorkers, it seems, have figured Trump out. The Senator Lindsey Graham, on the other end, not so fucking much. Hours before Trump slipped into the big city almost unnoticed, TV viewers had heard Graham, a Republican from South Carolina, struggle to explain why he's so intrigued by the squatter who encouraged the mob to attack the Capitol, where Graham was at work certifying an election on January 6th. There's something about the former squatter Trump, Graham told Axios and HBO. Well, Trump has always had a dark side, but there isn't any magic there at all. Trump has paraded his dark side ever since he was a misbehaving boy who was sent to a military school by his exacerbated parents. In adulthood, his boorish egomania grew until he became a race-baiting character. He led the so-called birther movement that wrongly questioned whether former President Barack Obama was born in America at all. Graham used to know this, and appearing on CNN in 2015, he told Alison Camerata that Trump was a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot that didn't represent the Republican Party. Nothing that has happened since then has erased the truth that Graham spoke then. However, Trump did become a squatter, establishing a hold over the Republican Party that now finds him in control. Even after his defeat in his bid for re-election and the disgraceful attack on the Capitol, that was carried out by his sycophants. What Graham seems to find magical is that despite Trump's many failures, which include not just Trump's defeat at the polls, but his failed effort to help the GOP hold on to a Senate majority, and his abysmal handling of the pandemic, Trump has a firm grip on millions of GOP voters. The rabid devotion strikes fear in the wishy-washy hearts of certain politicians who might disagree with Trump, but worry about being challenged by someone loyal to the former squatter. The power of political rage is well established. Anger, especially coming from a candidate at a crowded Klan rally, can be electrifying. And the further the candidate goes with his or her display of emotion, the more powerful that effect. Call your opponent dishonest, and the crowd may cheer. Call for her to be put in prison, and the crowd starts chanting, "Lock her up, lock her up." Call on people to fight like hell, they won't have a country anymore, and they just might pour into the Senate shouting, "Hang Mike Pence," is what his sycophants did. Pence, we must note, is also a Republican. Following Biden's victory, Trump praised Pence, his vice squatter, up as an enemy because he refused to stop the Congress from certifying the results of the Electoral College, which would affirm that President Joe Biden won and would assume office on January 20th after the attack. Pence went silent for a while, but he returned to public view by publishing an article that echoed Trump's false claims about election integrity, and having escaped the mob, he now seems to be courting it. Pence may want to claim that Trump's sycophants for some future campaign. Others in Congress may simply fear what could happen if they cross him. Standing against a true master of political rage like Trump means risking a primary challenge in the next election. Trump has already thrown his support to a candidate challenging a GOP House member who voted to impeach him, and he is promising to campaign to defeat Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska because she's not been loyal to him. Graham is secure in his Senate seat until 2026, but he must have learned from his terrible showing that when he sought the presidency in 2016, that the White House is not in his future. He claims that his concern now is the future of the Republican Party, and to that end, he wants to harness the magic of Trump, which Trump doesn't have any magic. Basically, he can make it to the GOP bigger. He can make it stronger. He can make it more diverse, and he will also destroy it. That being said, Graham can imagine. Graham can imagine Trump destroying the Republican Party, and it would make anyone wonder why he would have anything to do with the dark side that he considers somehow magical. Trump's politics of rage did energize certain voters, and demagogues have always been able to move ahead, or to move people in this way, and however, it takes a kind of willful indifference for someone with Graham's experience and background to ignore that this magic is also frighteningly dangerous. The fact that Graham knows better is evident in the way that he has wavered on the subject of Trump, vacillating between fealty and outrage. As he considers committing to the dark side, he might consider that Trump was the first squatter never to gain 50% in the Gallup poll as an approval rating for one, and was soundly defeated in 2020 and was impeached not just once but twice. And if these facts aren't enough to persuade him to turn back to the light, he might reflect on how, when Trump, a New York native who became squatter, went home again, only one person in a city of nearly in a city of nearly 8.4 million showed to welcome him. Yeah, only one fucking person showed. Yep.